Today we're going to go ahead and test and diagnose faulty HIDs on this F-150. On this specific truck, the fog lights have stopped working. So in order to test them, what we're first going to do is unplug the ballast, and then we're going to test the main power input to see if there's voltage on the terminals. So in order to test the HID kit that you have, make sure it's working, you're going to need a voltmeter. You're going to want to go ahead and put it in DC mode to test voltage and set it to 20. The value we're looking for is 12. That's how much voltage should be running through the HID kit. So let's go ahead and go down and check the plug.
Okay, so as we can see here, there's 0 volts, which means there's a good chance that the fuse is blown. So the next step would be to check the fuse to see if it did blow. Before we start checking the fuses, we gotta remember that the fuses blew for a reason. In order to prevent them from blowing again, we need to unplug both the ballasts that are under the fog lights.
In this Ford, the fuse box is in this little area right here on the passenger side. So I've gone ahead and unplugged all the 2 ballasts that are on the bottom. And the fuse box, you just pull it open on this Ford right here. Now, if you can tell, Fords do this a lot and it's a real pain in the ass. But this fuse box doesn't label anything. It just gives you like a number and what it is. So we're kind of left blank here. Basically, what you're gonna have to do is look it up on your own on Google. If you can't find it, you can test them one by one by turning the fog light switch on and with a multimeter going one by one to see which one isn't on, and then pulling that and checking it. There's a lot of fuses in this truck, so I'm gonna look up the manual. Well, I've identified the fuse. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the manual. I had to test each one of them one by one with a 12-volt light tester. You can get these at any store. They're usually like between $2 to $5, and all they do is test the which fuses are good. So in order to test the fuse, all I did was turn it on like I normally would, turn the fog light on, and then test each one by one. And whichever one was on one side and off on the other, this little pin right there was where you test it. Wherever one side was on and the other side was off, then that meant the fuse was blown. I identified this one, the 15 amp, as blown. So let's go ahead and replace this one and test the light. You should replace it with one of the same value, but I don't have any ones on hand, so don't follow this bad practice.
So now we can go ahead and check the voltage. As you can tell, we have voltage now. So that must mean that this has nothing to do with the truck itself, but instead has something to do with the ballast and the bulb, so the HID kit itself. So let's go ahead and start testing the kit.
Once we've identified that the problem is actually one of the ballast and the bulbs, what we're going to do is remove it. So I've gone ahead and removed the ballast from the truck and the bulb. So this bulb is going to connect, the ballast is going to connect to the battery, and you'll be able to tell if it works if the bulb lights up. If it doesn't light up, then it's the ballast that's gone bad. This is supposed to be done very quickly because if it's a faulty ballast, there's a good chance that your wires are going to burn up, or there's a high chance of failure.
So I've identified the faulty ballast, and it's this one right here. This one kept blowing the fog light fuse. Why? I have no idea. But we've tracked it down to a ballast. This ballast right here was unable to start any bulbs. It doesn't work at all. So to get these lights to work again, replace the fuse and buy a new ballast. The other one was good though. It did no damage whatsoever and it works. So that's that, guys. Like and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll gladly reply to you guys within a day or two at most. So hit that like button down below, or subscribe if you really like my videos. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.